Alright, welcome back to a new video, and of course this will be about the July 29th super fight for the undisputed welterweight championship of the world. That being the unified world champion Errol Spence Jr. facing Terrence "Buddy" Crawford, the WBO world champion. And of course, Isaac Cruz and Nonito Donaire will be on the undercard, although they'll definitely not steal the show. So, how are we going to do this one? We're going to do this one a wee bit differently. We're going to do it point-based. They love their points. You know, point by point, round by round. We're going to do that. We're going to each make a round for different categories: resume, power, speed, boxing IQ, all that stuff. And at the end of the video, we'll see who has the most points, and that will most likely be the winner. But of course, we have to go to their resume. Errol Spence Jr. being 28-0 with 22 knockouts, not that bad. Almost an 80% knockout ratio. Versus Terrence Crawford, 39-0 with 30 knockouts. Well, first of all, they're pretty close in knockout ratios, 2% off. Crawford being 76, Spence being 78. But when you look at the knockouts, Terrence Crawford has more knockouts than Spence has wins. So we might have to give a point to power to Crawford, especially being 100% knockout streak in the welterweight division. And of course, that's 1 point for Crawford, right? And then we'll have to go to another one, speed. Right, when you look at the fights between Spence and Crawford, you could easily tell who has speed. It's Crawford. It's easily Crawford when you look at the fights, right? So that's another point for Terrence Crawford. Well, how about longevity? You may be saying, what does that mean? How long have they been champion? Both Spence and Crawford have been champion for around 6 years, I think around 7. Spence being a wee bit longer reigning. But it doesn't mean anything, though. Because when you look at the number one, which is also like 6 years and like, I don't know how many months, he has doubled the title defenses to... Actually, you know what? You could add Crawford's and Spence's title defenses, and they'd be off by 1 to the longest reigning welterweight champion of the world. So, first of all, that's bad. How the hell are you 6 years and only 6 title defenses? That's trash. We take away a point from both of them. Alright, so new score, not too bad. -1 point for Spence and 1 point for Crawford. Very nice. And of course, we have to go to common opponents. I'm sorry, both of these people fought Kell Brook and Shawn Porter, respectively. Errol Spence fought Kell Brook and knocked him out in the 11th round. Crawford fought him and knocked him out in the 4th round. What's the difference? Well, Spence likes to say that Brook was a broken toy when he fought Crawford, acting like Kell Brook didn't go 2 weight divisions up to fight Triple G. Undefeated Triple G, that's right, undefeated. And got knocked out in like 4 rounds. That's right. Terrence Crawford knocked out Kell Brook 1 round faster than Triple G at middleweight. So he moved up 2 weight divisions to fight Triple G, lost TKO, came back down 2 weight divisions, and fought Spence. And was winning the fight until I would say his battle scars started to show, and he got knocked out in the 11th round. And then he went on a 3-fight winning streak, 2 by knockout, and he fought Terrence Crawford and lost in 4 rounds. That has to easily be a point to Crawford. So now it's -1 to 2. Well, what about Shawn Porter? Well, now this one you might have to give it to Errol Spence, because Errol Spence fought a world champion in Shawn Porter. And although it was a very, very close fight, split decision win for Errol Spence after getting his knockdown in the 11th round to Shawn Porter, that sealed the deal. And of course, he fought Terrence Crawford, which it did not go the same route, as he got TKO'd in 10 rounds, which, you know, as Shawn Porter did say, someone on Monday is not the same as a dude on a Tuesday, right? Which does make sense, because the fight between his fight before Errol Spence to his fight before Terrence Crawford is quite a bit of time. He fought Spence 6 months after fighting Yordenis Ugas, winning by split decision, while he waited... Well, I don't want to say waited, but it took 1 year to fight Terrence Crawford after his last fight. So, you know, you might have to give a point to Errol Spence. So you have to give Spence this one. You have to give him a point. Unfortunately for Porter, he fought and acted when he got knocked down, acting like he was trying to get upgraded around the house. Which, first of all, you have to take away 5 points from Shawn Porter for that. Why the hell are you slamming your fist on the floor, man? I don't know, man. Alright, so So now Spence is back on the board with 0 points, and Crawford is still ahead at 2. Very interesting. And after the common opponents, we have to go to other opponents, right, besides Porter and Kell Brook, for the sole fact that he says, oh, Crawford hasn't fought anyone good, man. He has to fight. Yeah, he doesn't have anyone on his resume, which could or could not be true. There has to be a little inspection first. And we're going to go by welterweight. So ever since Terence Crawford joined the welterweight division and up and after, we're going to choose those opponents. And the same thing for Spence, of course, taking out Kell Brook and Shawn Porter. So, since joining welterweight, Terence Crawford has knocked out all of his opponents, so I don't have to say anything. So he beat Jeff Horn, Jose Benavidez Jr., Amir Khan, the Mean Machine, because unfortunately I don't know how to say his name, and David Avanesian. A lot of people that most people probably don't know. Okay, never mind. A lot of people know these people. And that is 5 fights. So 5 fights in welterweight. So that'll be Errol Spence's Carlos Ocampo, Mikey Garcia, Danny Garcia, and your Dennis Ugas. Because he actually fought Kell Brook 2 fights before that. So anyways, he beat Ocampo by KO first round. And Terence Crawford obviously beat Jeff Horn by knockout. Who's better? It's Crawford. Look, man, we all like Ocampo, but Ocampo got knocked out in the first round against Spence, and then got knocked out once in the first round against Tim Tszyu. And he fights a wee bit weird. Like, you could see it in the Fundora fight. He couldn't do much against him. I don't want no shame to Ocampo, but well, then again, who's Jeff Horn in the first place? All right, let's be real. So we might have to give a point to Crawford for that one. And after that, we got Mikey Garcia. He defeated him unanimous decision. Mikey Garcia is obviously a 4-division world champion and moved up for his 5th division, but got dominated against Spence. Unanimous decision, which could or could not be a good thing for Spence. Good thing is, it's a 4-division world champion. Undefeated, too. Bad thing is, it's a 4-division world champion, man. Getting your 5th division, man, that's tough. That is tough. He couldn't knock out a 140-pounder Mikey Garcia. And, of course, Crawford's second fight is Jose Benavidez Jr., who he knocked out in the 12th round. Almost decision, but it went the 12th round. Undefeated Jose Benavidez Jr. Who gets the point? It's Spence. It's Spence. I don't know who the hell thinks Mikey Garcia is a worse win than Jose Benavidez Jr. It would have been a worse win if Jose Benavidez Jr. wasn't injured. He was injured, and he went 12 rounds with Terence Crawford. People are like, oh, it's all right. It's not that bad. Oh, it is bad, because imagine his brother, David Benavidez, had the same injury when he fought Caleb Plant. David Benavidez would not be undefeated right now if he had the same injury as his brother. So, we get a point for Spence. Very nice. Wow. Of course, Terence Crawford's next one is Amir Khan KO in the 6th round. And this one, it's Danny Garcia. Who's the better one? Danny Garcia. It's Danny Garcia. Danny Garcia was I think, 2-weight division world champion, or at the time anyways. And he won pretty decisively against Danny Garcia. Unfortunately, he couldn't knock out another 140-pounder, so much for his power. Am I right, guys? And Amir Khan, not knocking out Amir Khan and beating him is probably a bigger feat in of itself than knocking out Amir Khan. He's like, what? You went to the decision with him? That's crazy, man. So an extra point for Spence. Spence is catching up 2-3 now. Next one being your Dennis Ugas versus Terence Crawford's win against the Mean Machine. That's right, the Mean Machine versus your Dennis Ugas. Who was the better win? The Mean Machine was 21-0, undefeated, while Ugas lost a bunch of his fights. Although people say he won his fight against Shawn Porter, but was unjustly given the defeat. But he knocked out the Mean Machine in 9 rounds, while Errol Spence knocked out Ugas in the 10th round. Very nice. Not nice is that both of them were hurt in this fight. Like, I don't say quite a bit. Crawford was definitely hurt in 1 round. So was Spence. Difference is, Mean Machine kind of has a nice knockout ratio, while Ugas does not. Ugas was champion, so that gives him a good thing, right? Ugas has a 37.5 knockout ratio. That is crazy. And the Mean Machine has, after losing to, Crawford and Virgil Ortiz Jr., at this point in his career, he has a 70% knockout ratio. So what's the better win? On paper, it's Ugas, but it does not look good that Spence was hurt against a dude that doesn't even have a 40% knockout ratio. That is crazy. He did break him down, but Ugas does not move too much, man. Ugas was just there. You're like, oh, you want to beat Ugas? Out-muscle him. Well, you can out-muscle him when you have more power than him. Twice the amount of power as him. That's not even fair. So another point for Spence. Well, guess what? Now they're tied up. Who wins this one? It's a tie. Adaptability. All right, now that's another. Well, let's do boxing IQ first. Who has the better boxing IQ? It's Crawford. Crawford is the better one. He's a 3-division world champion, undisputed at 140. You kind of have to give it to Crawford. He is the smaller guy, kind of a little bit. But you have to give it to him. And adaptability, you might have to give it to Crawford too. Spence, when he's told, hey man, you're losing, you know what he does? He just adds more muscle into his attacks. I mean, if anyone can break away from the fight and gain a substantial lead, it would be Crawford. Especially the way he handled Porter after saying, hey man, you losing the fight. You need to knock this guy out. He goes out and knocks him out. That's easy, man. That's adaptability. You mean to tell me that you were struggling with this man for 9, 10 rounds, and then just one round it just clicks and you say, okay, I'm gonna knock him out now. Spence, when he's losing, is like, yo man, just try a wee bit harder, man. You're like, okay. Because look, Spence needs 4 rounds to break down someone's opponent. Crawford needs 1. That's the difference. Spence won't be able to truly break down Crawford without his coach seeing that. Being like, hey, man, this man trying to do this. He's trying to slow you down, man. And Crawford will easily get that and then change his whole entire game plan. He could go from left-handed to right-handed. He could go to switch stance. Oh, left hand isn't working, go to right hand. Right hand isn't working, go switch stance. He has a lot more tricks up his sleeves than Spence. Spence is break their eye. So, you know. And go to the body. He has great body work, but Crawford isn't just going to stand right next to him. And if he is, that's dumb, and maybe I should take away a point for boxing IQ. But it would be Crawford. Crawford has a lot more tricks in his bag than Spence does. Spence may be the unified world champion, but not after the fight. He's going to have no belts. He's going to be knocked out. We have to give another point for Crawford. Now it's 3-5 Crawford. What other things are there for him? Nothing. Spence is the unified world champion. Crawford is the 3-division world champion. Undisputed at 140. That seems like a better thing than Spence. Spence is fighting a dude who finally found his true strength at 147. That's going to be a problem. He's fighting someone twice as fast as him. Just as explosive as him. Even more explosive. Don't get me wrong. Spence has power. But it's not like, he hits you and he's going to flop to the floor. No, you're going to get dropped. You're going to have time to, process what happened. Crawford does that. You're going to be bedoozled. You're going to be bamboozled. You're going to show you 3 fingers, you're going to see 6. You're like, nah, I don't want to face this guy no more. It's just because of that. Final score, 3-5, Terrence Crawford. I got Terrence Crawford winning in the 10th round via uppercut. Spence will not see it coming. I got Crawford being the first ever truly undisputed champion in 2 different weight divisions, although not simultaneously. That's impossible with 4 belts. It should have been Teofimo Lopez, but politics ruined him twice in a row. Oh, you have all the belts. Too bad. We gave Haney the WBC belt, so you're not undisputed. Oh, okay. Well, I'm gonna fight the undisputed super lightweight world champion. Josh Taylor's like, oh man, I would love to fight you with all my belts, but something happened. All I have is the WBO one and the ring one. What? What do you mean? Oh well, guess you have to go down to 135 to get undisputed. Well, I can't. Oh well, it seems like a you problem. So of course, Terrence Crawford is going to win. 10th round stoppage uppercut. It's not. Spence will not have a chance to implement any of his game plans against Crawford unless Spence manages to throw a bomb at his liver. He's gonna keep moving around, make him miss. There's a reason why Crawford is a slight favorite in this fight. It's like he's a slight favorite in these scorecards. 3-5, not too bad for Spence. Honestly, he should have been a little bit higher. But anyways, hope you enjoyed this video. This will be an absolute mega fight. I will bet 50 cents on Terrence Crawford, don't get me wrong. And secondly, who cares about undisputed shirts? If you want undisputed shirts, you just buy it from Jermel Charlo. Maybe Noe Inoue if he made a clothing thing. Canelo Alvarez. All these others undisputed. But imagine the first ever 2-time undisputed world champion. Terrence Crawford merch. Exactly, man. You gotta think of the bigger picture. Spence has to be sacrificed for this type of merch. But anyways, like I said, hope you enjoyed this video. And the next one will be the August 5th bout between the influencer Jake Paul versus the UFC megastar Nate Diaz. I hope to catch you in the next one.